And this is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services in Boston at the Direct Marketing Association and then 2015 annual conference. And I have a chance to talk with the General Counsel of the Direct Marketing Association, that is Senny Boone. And Senny, good to see you. So many issues that marketers need to be concerned with from Washington state regulators, and you mentioned even overseas regulators and government officials. What's on the top of your list of things that marketers need to be aware of and keeping a close eye on?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for the chance to speak about some of the concerns and issues, especially in Washington, that we're facing. So the most recent one that I think a lot of marketers are struggling with are how to come into compliance with some of the clarifications that just recently came out in July on the TCPA. The FCC, Federal Communications Commission, just issued these. And certainly nothing major has changed, but the clarifications do offer up some gray zones. So for example, around when a consumer can actually revoke their consent, they've certainly broadened that so that a consumer apparently can revoke it at any time, which will be very difficult in terms of the compliance process around that. Certainly that is one of the top concerns, is to make sure that your companies are looking at that. The other one that we just heard of this morning, today, October 6th, we just learned that the International Safe Harbor is facing a challenge. It was apparently struck down by one of the EU courts. We want to make sure that we're getting that information. We have a lot of companies that are global that are using the International Safe Harbor to make sure that when they're importing consumer data, that they're doing the right thing in terms of privacy protections. And we feel that we have a very strong program, and now we're facing that challenge. So we'll be keeping DMA members involved and engaged in terms of international best practices. In terms of other issues, you want to make sure that you're taking a look at what's happening with consumer choices. One of our main concerns is to make sure that you're offering up the adequate consumer choice, regardless of marketing channel. So of course, in the mail space, you've got DMAchoice.org. DMA Choice helps out consumers that want to get out of mail, whether it's a deceased situation, whether it's a caretaker, whether it's someone who's elderly. So that's very important as a best practice for your offline information. For online, we've got some newer programs using the blue triangle. You might have seen that when you're going online and taking a look at different ads. And that is the Ad Choices program, to make sure that you're offering up consumer choices through this enhanced notice. The blue icon, it's at aboutads.info, and that'll get you signed up so that you can participate in offering up consumers the choices they need once they're finished looking at an ad and want to opt out of future ads and promotions from that particular campaign.
Okay, and you had an excellent presentation this morning with kind of 10 recommendations for being accountable to customers and to be good in privacy standing. One of your points was about California having excellent model for privacy best practices. Maybe you could just highlight that.
Sure, absolutely. So at the Direct Marketing Association, one of our oldest best practices is to make sure you've got an excellent privacy policy. That's really almost like your contract with the consumer, the promises that you're making when they're visiting your site. So we get a lot of inquiries from companies who really want to shape and build their privacy policy moving forward. California has some excellent materials through Shine the Light, and making sure that you've got the right provisions in your privacy policy. There's also a change management practice that you want to make sure you're installing with your privacy policy changes, so that after you're going through the various terms in your privacy policy, that you're properly alerting those visitors that you've already have as customers, and then also moving forward to newer customers, so you're very transparent about your privacy policy. So certainly that's a really good baseline to start from, because they have set a pretty high threshold in terms of the practices that you need to make sure that you're being transparent about in your privacy policy. So take a look at California's website on privacy policies, and also the DMA is here to help. We have other baseline privacy policy standards that we can help you with.
And Senny, you were nice enough to take my question about what's really something our clients in the banking industry really keep a close eye on, is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau having become very active What are your thoughts about key points that the CFPB is looking for marketers to be in best practice on?
Well, I think, honestly, that particular organization is a lot newer, and it was really formed to go after some of the financial issues, and they are now focusing because they're seeing their mission as broader. Based around consumer protection. So I think they are actually scrutinizing marketing practices and what you're doing with marketing information. So as a marketer, you're obviously not that involved in actually further down the transaction with banking and financial transactional matters. You're there on the financial marketing side. So you want to make sure you're following those best practices, the standards that we have today, but they are definitely looking a little bit more closely from the consumer perspective. And that's something that the DMA is watchfully monitoring, because the original intent for that agency was much more narrow, and now they're going further in on marketing. So we're here to, again, help if you're facing some issues that we can help in Washington.
Senny Boone, you've got some resources at the Direct Marketing Association that members and somebody in marketing might want to take a look at. What's the best way to reach you or see the information that the DMA has put together on privacy and accountability?
Thank you. So our email for ethics is ethics@the-dma.org. Our website, you can go to the DMA, no dash there, thedma.org/compliance. It's also under Centers of Excellence at that website. We're doing a little bit of website reframing, so bear with us, be patient. We should have additional materials. And also you can always contact me at sboone, Boone, at the-dma.org.
It's great. Senny Boone, the General Counsel for the Direct Marketing Association. Good to see you here in Boston for the Direct Marketing Association and then conference.
We love Boston. It's beautiful. Thank you.
It's been a great fall weekend up here. Senny Boone, thank you so much. This is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services in Boston.